He's Charles Barkley, NBA on TNT. He joins us now. Chuck, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I'm great. I'm on vacation for the next 5 months. I'm doing extraordinarily well.
Well, what are you going to do on vacation?
Well, I golf and fish every day. I'll take a couple trips to different countries, 3 or 4 different countries, but I mainly just fish and golf every day.
What kind of fishing?
Bass, catfish, things like that. I like ponds and lakes. I don't like deep sea fishing, but a lot of ponds and lakes. I'm actually in Alabama, so I'm fishing for the rest of this week.
That's nice. What country can you go to and not be recognized?
Oh, I haven't found that country, but I want to see the world, man. I mean, I love going to Italy, love Germany, Spain. I need to go to Africa at some point. So that's probably the place. I'm going to go to Africa hopefully a couple times this summer. I've never been there, and I think I need to go there.
All right, Spurs style, what they did, how they did it. Any parting comments for the NBA Finals?
Just totally surprised the ease of the victories, to be honest with you. The series, I thought it was a pick-em series. I think most people thought that going in. But I don't think it's any way anybody would have told you that they were in with 3 straight blowouts. The games weren't even close. I think that's the thing that surprised me the most. You go back to Game 3, Game 4, and obviously Game 5. These games were not even close. It's like they were playing with them last night, letting them get a big lead, then blowing them out. I think that's the only thing that really surprised me, the ease that they won with.
Well, you also, and I know that we look at the Heat with what they do to reload, rebuild. That's the better story, the sexier story. The Spurs themselves, Duncan, is he going to come back? Really the future of that franchise. Let me start there. Because I looked at Vegas, and the Spurs aren't even the favorites to repeat next year. The Miami Heat are. So what do you think San Antonio does, and will they be the team to beat next year?
Well, I would be surprised if Tim Duncan came back, to be honest with you. I think we all, every player of that magnitude would love to retire like a John Elway. So I'd be surprised if I'd be surprised if him and Popovich both came back.
Really?
To be honest with you, yeah. You can't go out any better than they did. To win, to get 5 and to win the last championship. To me, I will say this. I think, one team in the NFL that never got any credit was the team that went the Buffalo Bills and went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yep.
I thought that was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my years of watching sports. But I thought the Spurs, coming back from that devastation last year, I put this on the same par with that. I think it's just amazing, a team. I remember last year, you forget, they were bringing out the ropes to bring out the trophy with a few seconds to go. And to be devastated like that and come back and win it this year, I think that's the story of redemption, one of the greatest things I've seen in sports since the Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point. And the one thing I mentioned at the start of the series is they didn't use it as a pity party or woe is me. They lost in devastating style, but it seemed to motivate certainly Tim Duncan and the rest of this group that sort of became a rallying cry with them, even though the national media didn't hone in on it, probably didn't even notice it. But they seem to have that attitude. And I think they figured this team out in Game 1. Game 2, if I take away Game 2, this is as bad a massacre as we've seen in the NBA Finals, Chuck.
Well, what's interesting is if you go. It's so weird the way this series went. The Heat could have been up 2-0 on them. Think about it. If LeBron doesn't get cramps, they probably win the first 2 games in San Antonio, and then it's a totally different series. But to come back and blow this team out 3 straight games, I just think that's remarkable. Think about it. If like I said, if LeBron doesn't catch crap, they might win those first 2 games in San Antonio.
Have you had cramps?
Oh, yeah. And it's interesting listening to all these clowns on radio and television talking about LeBron and his cramps. Those guys never played sports before. When you get those cramps, there's nothing you can do, man. It's like an awful feeling. It's just nothing you can do. And this LeBron hate is just so silly at this point in this man's career. It's like fake criticism just to get people to call into your radio show or ESPN. Like when they need time to fill till the NFL starts, and in between games, they get these clowns on television who just hate on LeBron, and it's really silly and asinine, to be honest with you.
Can we take a break and bring you back? I want to talk to you about Carmelo Anthony.
Sure, bro. It ain't like I got anything to do. The fish going to be biting in an hour or two.
A story yesterday on Yahoo Sports talking about Carmelo Anthony with Chicago and Houston seemed to be the favorites to land him, that he would actually opt out and go to those teams. You do those sign and trades, that's where they're taking players from your team, so it weakens that team. Now, I don't know what Melo's going to do. Let's bring back Charles Barkley. What do you think is best for Carmelo to do?
It's a great question, Dan. I always find it fascinating. Everybody say Carmelo should lead the Knicks and give up $35 million. You know why they say that? But it's not their $35 million, Dan. That's a lot of money, man. And, listen, you have to think about your family. I don't know anybody's financial situation. People talk about winning championships. It'd be great to win a championship, but it'd also be great to have $35 million. You can set your family up financially for generations to come. I always look at that, the big picture, because sports are about money. I mean, think about it, $35 million. He's married. He probably want to have kids. I don't know his entire family base, but you could change the generations of your family for years to come. As far as from a basketball standpoint, the Houston Rockets are probably the best team because they got Dwight Howard and James Harden. The Chicago, Noah's probably my favorite player because he just gives a maximum energy and effort. I love to watch him play. But you don't know what's going to happen with Derrick Rose. I mean, I think that's the big caveat of him going to the Bulls because if they don't get Derrick Rose healthy with Carmelo and Noah, first of all, you still don't even know what you got to give up, how competitive it's going to be.
Well, the possibility of staying in New York. Now, I know he's there. There's more money there. That's why they came up with this. But the possibility of the time frame of building a winner in New York. I mean, how long is this going to take for Phil Jackson, Derek Fisher?
Well, I think it's probably going to take at least probably 3 years, and that's if they get everything right. This notion, because they got Phil Jackson, people are going to be clamoring to come to New York. There's some positives to playing in New York, but there's some negatives to playing in New York. The media there, they a bunch of, they're just trying to get stories. I mean, I'm a big fan of Mike Lupica and Frank Isola. Those two guys I really like and respect, but there's some scumbags up in New York who, they're going to make life miserable if you don't win. So you have to weigh that when you're deciding if you want to go to New York. So that's something you have to think about also.
Would you rather have Carmelo or Kevin Love?
Ooh, that's a great question, Dan. I'm a big Kevin Love fan. I think he's the best power forward in the game. He is the best power forward in the game, in my opinion. I think he just needs some help. I mean, he's in an awful situation in Minnesota. And whoever gets him, man, they're going to be a lot better team. They're going to be a lot better team. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. Carmelo's a terrific player. But listen, I'm a big Kevin Love fan.
Who would you rather play with?
Well, it'd be easy for me to play with either because, if I can score or I can rebound. It's tough. If you play with Carmelo, you're not going to get a lot of shots. But I would be content to lead to NBA in rebounding. I'm still going to get my 20 points, but that would give me more freedom to rebound playing with a guy like Carmelo because he's a volume shooter. Kevin Love it would be great to play with him because, number one, we get every rebound that wasn't nailed down. And also, he's a great three-point shooter, so he'd give me more room to operate down low. So it just depends. Like, I'm one of those players, I'm content to get a lot of rebounds. I don't have to score. I want to score, But if I'm playing with another great scorer, my scoring average went down in Phoenix. Playing with Dan Marley and Kevin Johnson, I was very content to do that. And my rebounding average kind of stayed the same. But it's all about who you're playing with. Can you adjust your game?
Has LeBron surpassed Larry Bird?
Yeah, in my opinion, Dan, I always preface thing, I don't want to be like one of these idiots on these other networks who act like they're 100% right. My top five, and they're never going to change. In fairness to all these guys, Michael's 1, Oscar Robertson's 2, Bill Russell and Kareem are 3, 4, and 5. I got Kobe at number 6. I got LeBron at number 7, and then I got Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and Magic and Bird. Those are my basically top 10, 11 players of all time, and Tim Duncan is right after that. But if LeBron wins some more championships, I always find it fascinating. I told Kobe Bryant, did he die or something? Because LeBron's got 2 championships, and they just forget that Kobe has 5. And they're like, how good is he compared to Michael Jordan? I said, Kobe still's got more. And I think LeBron is closer to catching Kobe than he is Michael.
Well, he's just different. He's never going to be Michael Jordan. He's just
not. But
not.
I'm just talking about when we're just sitting around talking.
Yeah.
I'm never going to compare, because I actually think he's more like Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
I think he'd rather have a triple-double than go out and get 30 points. But everybody talking about the quote-unquote the Mount Rushmore, and LeBron said it himself. I said it when if. I mean, it's always an if. If LeBron's win more championships, I'm gonna ease him up on Kobe. I'm not going. Listen, I'm always hold it against him that he left Cleveland. To me, I'm always going to hold that against him to a certain degree that he left Cleveland to go play with Dwayne and Chris in Miami. That's always going to be like an asterisk for me.
Well, you left Philadelphia. You wanted out. You wanted to have a chance to win.
Yeah, I went to Phoenix.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Chicago to play with the Bulls. I went to Phoenix. I think there's a little bit different there.
Well, you
I think
talent.
I think all great players want some help, but I don't think that's the one thing that stirs me about the game today. They talk about Carmelo going to Miami now. To me, that would be just a wussy way out. They might win championship, but the ultimate is about competition, and you can't tell me. And Tim Duncan kind of said it. We wanted the Miami Heat. And I think what he was really trying to say was, we don't like the way they came together. And I guarantee you, if you get him along privately, they got much more joy out of beating the Miami Heat because the way they were structured through the draft and things like that. I guarantee you, Tim Duncan, when he said that, we wanted the Miami Heat because all the older players resent the way they're trying to, you want to win, but you never try to dictate when you get all the best players so you can dominate the league. You want to beat other great players. And I guarantee you, Tim Duncan, in his private moments, is so excited that they beat the Miami Heat. That's the reason they had that billboard up in San Antonio in the final saying, built versus bought. I think they take great pride in that. Greg Popovich that. I think he takes great pride in the way they beat a team that, they tried to manipulate the system where they could have their own mini dynasty.
Did you really think that the San Antonio women were, heavy?
No, man. You know what? Listen, man. Listen, they have the best, not just because they won. Them and the New England Patriots have the best organizations in sports. What they've been able to do the last 10 to 15 years in free agency, they have a legitimate shot to win a championship every year. I think the two most impressive organizations in sports are the San Antonio Spurs and the New England Patriots.
Yeah, but you're talking about the women. I'm talking about the...
Hold on. They got the best coach in the NBA. They got the best point guard in the NBA. They got the greatest power forward ever. Kawhi Leonard is a stud. But they got some big old women there. Two words. They got great fans, but they do have some big old women there.
Oh, you're a knucklehead. All right, good luck fishing there.
Thank you, my brother. Hey, man, y'all have a great summer.
Oh, okay. We'll interrupt you, though.
Wait, that's nothing to talk about.
We'll find you. There's something. Something will come up. I'll have to find you.
Yeah, the draft is coming up.
Yeah.
Carmelo going to make a decision.
Yeah.
LeBron going to make a decision. Y'all call me when these guys make a decision.
All right, Chuck. Thank you, man.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, man. Charles Barkley, NBA on TNT.